is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to episode 42 of the Casual Weebs podcast. Listen, last week we dropped a video, the preview to the winter 2025 season. It was awesome. There's a lot of great stuff coming up, so if you want to, figure out what's coming up, go check out that video. Also, this week we're going to be dropping another sleeper anime video. We're going to be talking about, we're not going to say, but it's a good one. Trust me. This one, I saw from shorts, of course, some clips. You're like, oh, add that to the watch list. Watched it and just absolutely binged it. It was phenomenal. I feel like we've hit with a lot of our sleeper animes. People have gone to watch them. We got good reviews back. They hit. They're really good. So if you're looking for a sleeper, definitely check that out. It's a sad week next week because it is the last episode for a lot of these absolute bangers this season. Some of them, not all of them, because I know Blue Box is having an extended, double season. As far as we know. And of course, there are some other sleepers this season. Some of them might be getting 13 episodes, but this season is so deep, guys. It is listen, Demon Slayer 2099, really, really good. I think the animation style is sick. I think the story is sick. It's something that I like, because there's a lot of animes we don't talk about, because we only have so much time. But this is one that I really look forward to and enjoy every single week. It just fucking hits. It's actually so sick and funny. Shangri-La Frontier is dropping an awesome season 2. Of course, we're talking about You Are Miss Servant, Yakuza Fiance. Those are awesome. ReZero's on break, but that will be coming back. That was really good. I'm just trying to think of what else has really been also hitting this season. I haven't watched it yet, but because we have time coming up, that little, grace period before we get into the winter season and, something that'll hold us over because, we're addicted. The Most Notorious Talker runs the world's greatest clan. I'm going to be checking that one out. That kind of seems good, but, this season is so deep, so no need to be nervous, guys. No need to be scared. There's plenty for us to watch. But, listen, this week has hit. This week was absolutely awesome. Blue Lock just absolutely dominated. The animation, dude, things are heating up. Everyone's going into the flow state. It is absolutely crazy. This week, I was, losing it. If you're new here, a couple episodes back, we ended up making a bunch of bets on what we thought would happen in these games. You said that Botcher would score. I'd say the 1v1 guy would score. And, dude, it got close for a second. I was on the edge of my seat no, he's not. And you know what? He didn't. But, it was very entertaining. Almost won that bet. I kind of need to. So if that dude can, do something, that'd be kind of cool. Listen, our boy Kyo, I think his name's Kyo for Blue Box, steps up again. Literally, greatest anime wingman of the year. By far, easily. DanDaDan. I mean, literally last week, I'm yo, we just met Jiji. In the opening, Jiji looks like a weirdo. I'm oh, but we saw a little taste of him. He seems cool. He seems normal. No, he's not. This episode, they're yeah, you're gonna regret saying that. Dude, it's so fucking weird. So I was absolutely wrong about that. And guys, again, listen, even more, because this is the world's longest intro, because there's so much going on. But when it's busy in the anime world, we're eating good. That's things are nice, right? So if you didn't know, Crunchyroll just dropped their Crunchyroll Arc, which is their Wrapped. So if you want to expose yourself and get absolutely judged by Crunchyroll, check that out. It's on the mobile app only. You have to download, you have to update it, and then it just immediately pops up. It's impossible to see otherwise. It's very broken. Blake doesn't even have his, but I have mine. So listen, let us know down below if you did see yours. What are your top 3 genres? Or what is your favorite anime is? It says mine's One Piece. And it also says my top 3 genres are thriller, adventure, and then romance. I'm that kind of hits. That kind of makes sense. I do love those 3. But yeah, I mean, I definitely got exposed. This year, boys, 92 titles. 13 genres and 500 hours. So we've been putting in those reps. You know what I mean? But you know what the craziest part? I'm only in the top 30% of Crunchyroll. Which means
that's crazy. Almost 100 animes, and you're not even scratching the top 10%.
No, there's so many
folks out there.
Dude, there's some anime loving people out there. But hey, we absolutely love them. But let's start diving into this absolute treasure trove, because I mean, again, anime is absolutely popping off. There is so much shit going on. So I hope you guys are enjoying. So what do you want to dive into first? I mean, so many different animes to talk about.
Blue Lock was crazy. That definitely felt like the most eventful and tense episode of the season. I definitely thought, we had been talking about the bets last week and the week before and stuff, when Bachira stepped up to Rin, I think it was. I was all right, yeah, see, I know what I was talking about. He's gonna get one in 5 minutes here. doesn't even crack the screen again. It was like, ooh, okay. So I don't know what I'm talking about, but really good. Like some of the tactics and like I keep comparing it to like real life because I kind of got into soccer
Yeah.
recently. Very fucking spot on, which I think is super cool. And just another W from the coolest character in the show, Ego, my guy. Just like big eyes and vibes. Love it.
Bro, like it's absolutely insane. And you know what's so crazy? And then we can go talk about the one thing that was absolutely longer than this intro, which was Shido's goal. You know what I mean? That like it
Yo,
was so stretched and such a holy shit with animation. Like, oh my god. But the thing from Ego that absolutely blew me away was he never intended to really save face. You know what I mean? We thought this game was going to be about, Blue Lock versus U20. We want to protect Blue Lock. We want it to stay, right? We want to, protect the home. Ego doesn't give a shit. He's kind of like, I'm making my point. I created monsters, and you guys are getting spotlight from this, and you're going to get released into the world. You're going to go into some of the best programs, be picked up by some of the best universities. You guys will already change soccer no matter what happens at the end of this game. The rest of this game doesn't fucking matter. That completely blew me away. That, like, because he preaches on, like egoists and shit like that, but, like, he's already done what he wanted to do. You know what I mean? He's did it all like for them in a way, and kind of like just giving them like insane careers. He's like, I taught you guys what you needed to learn. It's gonna impact you and help you throughout the rest of your careers. You guys just got the light. You got the attention. You have scouts looking at you. Like, go, be free, devour. You know what I mean? Instead of it being about like him. I thought that was absolutely insane.
I never thought of it like that. Like when Isagi approaches him, but he says like, yeah, either way, like I'll fade away and be forgotten. But I think the way you put it is perfect. Like he made his statement. They dominated the first half, and I had thought this kind of when Baru made the switch to the U20 team. He comes out and scores a goal to put him up, or to tie it, or to put him up, and then it's like right there. You know what I mean? He made an impact for the other team too.
Oh no, you
like
said
I
Barrow,
made my
Shido.
or Shido, yeah.
Yeah.
Get my muscle men mixed up. I'll get back on that later. He was out of pocket
We
this episode.
gotta get into, dude. There's so much to get into. Like, it's just like, dude, it's Christmas, boys. It's Christmas. I don't know what to tell you.
True that. But yeah, I never thought of it like either way. He got his point across and made a statement. They will change soccer because the notoriety this match is getting. So win or lose, Blue Lock was a success, and it was like, damn, I never thought of Ego to like take that approach. Whatever happens, happens. But like he was right in his approach. Like they did make a difference. So I thought that was pretty cool, and like I thought it was sick how Isagi was like, nah, fuck all that. Like I'm trying to win right now.
Yo,
That
I
was
mean,
really sick.
so this was all after, Shido's like 20-minute goal, right? And like Isagi getting fired up. Like the animation with him, and I was just like, yo, like that was hyping me the fuck up. Like that was so cool when he was just like, yeah, I don't give a shit. We want to win right now. Like this is the obstacle in front of us. This is what we want to devour. This is what we want to take over. This is what we want to conquer. Fuck these U20 guys. Like this is the game we want to win. Forget the rest of our careers. It's right now. And dude, he's just getting fired up. Ego's just like, you can tell Ego's getting fired up too. It was one of those moments where it was like with Windbreaker, right? How the MC from there, kind of was able to like fire up his superiors and the people around them. You know what I mean? Sakura was able to like, like start something, and then like his like support, like his leaders or whatever, like the one general was like, you know what, this kid's starting to fire me up, he's starting to get under my fucking belt, like, all right, let's get into it. You know what I mean? I just felt like I got that from Isagi and Ego, where like Ego like had a moment of like contempt. You know what I mean? Like he's fine with how it is, but Isagi's like, nah, we want more, and he's like, all right, fuck it, let's do it. Let's go release the king.
Sick.
And it's just like, oh my god. And then, dude, we're getting so far off track though. But then he tells him, he's like, listen, remember what I told everybody else? Fuck that. Fuck the other team. Devour Isagi. That's the only thing I want from you, is devour your own teammate. He's like, that's all I was gonna do, sir.
He's like, perfect. He knows his guys so well though. It was like really cool to like have that moment with them. But like, yeah, all according to plan. Ego's the man.
Dude, again, that moment too was like so funny and amazing to me. How he's like, screw the other team, devour Isagi. That's what I want you to do. And it's like it works because he's gonna pop off, and then Isagi's gonna be like, okay, well, I got to get more aggressive. And I feel like it's so crazy because it takes completely away from Ren. Ren's like the star player, the center of all of this, and it completely takes him out of the equation because you have Barrow trying to like devour Isagi, and Isagi trying to devour him. So like Rin just ends up in the back. You know what I mean? Where you have these two absolutely psychotic, foaming at the mouth like animals. You know, just absolutely doing whatever they can to score, and it's just like, yo, that's awesome and so funny.
Dude, I'm so psyched for the next episode. Definitely like got me really excited, and the whole episode, Shido was wild and out, dude. The whole like sperm and the egg thing for his goal is like, bro, you are crazy. This is just soccer. But I thought that was it, like speaks to his character. Like he's nuts. You know what I mean?
But
No
at the
pun
same
intended.
time,
But
too, like he even says it. He's like, "This isn't a game. This isn't soccer. This is life and death." He's like, "I'd rather
yeah,
die than lose." So like, you know, I actually like kind of like loved it. I was like, yo, like he's just popping off. He has this insane goal, and like it's getting even crazier because he enters the flow state, and that's where he's just like ballistic. He's just soaking it all in. Like he's like he's on drugs. It's like he snapped.
yeah,
You know what I mean? I'm like he lost it. Like he like he's not here
yeah.
anymore. He's like transcended. He's like in space. Like forget it. He's gone. But like, oh dude, he's just in that flow state. It's like gonna be impossible to like defeat him. And then everyone starts joining the flow state. And it's like, yo, like what is going on? Like the 1v1 guy when he got that ball, I was like, all right, he's not gonna score. It's way too early. You know what I mean? Like the person who scores is not usually too like they get it like last, and it's not like they have some time to run up and then do something. You know what I mean?
Right.
But then he starts entering the flow state. And he starts popping off. I'm like, Jesus Christ! Wait, hold on here. Wait, he actually might do it. You know what I mean? But then Oliver enters the flow state, and it's like, yo, what is going on? Like, I'm like, dude, everyone entering the flow state. First of all, you're taking some like great players and turning them into legends, right? But then like it's just like this game is like just about to start. It's like the game hasn't really started yet. Like now it's about to. And I like how Oliver entered that flow state because if I'm being completely honest, U20 has been nothing but a letdown this entire game when you think about it. None of their players
Yeah.
other than Oliver have done fucking anything. And they're supposed to be the best in the nation. If it wasn't for Shido scoring all the goals, same thing with Rin's brother, Sai, you know what I mean? Then you have Oliver, who's the only one who's really, like, locking down anything defensively. Like, U20's been a massive disappointment, and if anything, it kind of shows that U20 was a failure. Like, they have to revamp that team big time.
That's a really good point because, like you said, other than their three best players, which one of them is a blue lock guy, so that kind of defeats the purpose.
The other one's a semi-pro, or, like, someone who's going pro. It's not a U20 player. Like Sai's not a U20 player either. He joined just for that game. He doesn't care about them. Like, the only actual U20 player is Oliver. He's the only one who's actually, like, doing something in that game.
Yeah, and I would say he's probably the most effective. He's the only guy who's like you said, kind of shown out and been like a force in the game.
Yeah.
With everybody going in the flow state, first off, it was cool to see him lock in because like think his character is sick.
Oh, I
But
love
like
him. Yeah.
it's like one of those episodes where it's like, is Isagi really the MC of Blue Lock? Because like you have all these badass characters, like everybody's like succeeding and hitting this goal, and then you just have Isagi like almost spectating everybody balling out. But then like obviously he has this moment with ego, and we know he's gonna lock in. But I don't know, even that scene with Aiku where he like saves what we thought was gonna be a goal. It's like, damn, there's so many like really cool players in the show, and like I think you're right. Only a handful of them have kind of like taken advantage of this whole match. But yeah, still really badass, and I think Aiku's really kind of like been the best. We know like Itoshi Sai's the genius, and like we were expecting him to ball out, but Aiku's the one who's like kind of stepped out the most and been the best in the game for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just like it's gonna keep getting even more insane, you know, with everybody just getting, you know, more into it, getting into the flow state, getting into the rhythm of things, evolving, you know, having their awakening, stuff like that. But like I don't want Isagi just to get the last goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If
that would
he's
feel
just
cheap.
if he's just there to constantly get the last goal, like that's gonna suck. I want him to be a part of the game, not spending the entire game trying to get the missing pieces like he's talking about. Because he's like, oh, I need to score. You know, it's my time. He's like, but I have to get past Oliver. You know what I mean? And in order to do that, I need more pieces. But it's like, bro, like I want to see him get there now. I don't want to see him spend the whole game trying to be like, okay, I'm going. Oh, okay, I'm gonna like watch and like, well, I'm gonna figure something, and then we're gonna do it. It's like, come on, bro. Like, it'd be so sick to see him, like find the missing pieces, score, they come back, he scores again, they come back, Ren gets that goal, and then, oh my god, we win. It's you know what I mean? Like, that would be so sick. Instead of just, like, Isagi's just there to, like, half-ass an entire game. figure it out at the last second, score, and then he's the hero. Because that's kind of like the sort of gist, and we kind of talked about that like at the beginning of the season. That's what it felt like. That Isagi was kind of like, in these games and kind of just weak until like the very last moment, to the very moment that he needed to like be the hero, then he was. And if he wasn't, then they lost. You know what I mean?
It would feel like cheap to me because this game has been really sick and I think lived up to expectations. And then obviously you have people scoring some crazy goals like Shido and Sai and Rin. So Isagi just kind of like gets set up and taps one in, or even if he has like a really good goal, for him to just kind of like score the last one and be lauded as the hero, I feel like would kind of cheapen it or cheapen his goal in a way. Like
Yeah.
I would like to see him have more of an impact and at least make some plays or like beat Oliver or have like a nice assist, kind of like impact the game more than just like scoring right in front of the net. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like he kind of just feels like sometimes when he succeeds, it feels like it's just MC plot armor. You know what I mean? Like we needed to see MC. But it's like you're saying, like even just have impact. Like he's not like getting assists. He's not like right there. You know what I mean? And like you have a team full of like absolute geniuses, but it's like still for the way that they're trying to portray Isagi, I feel like you got to have him do more. You have to like have him show more with action instead of just like his potential. You know what I mean? Instead of just having that be the threat.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And like I think Baru's going to be that catalyst to kind of unlock him and push him into that flow state where he can like make some plays. I feel like that's kind of a given, but it was definitely foreshadowed this episode. So hopefully we get to see him kind of lock in and do something sick next episode.
That's awesome. I feel like Ego's also like, yeah, I have no idea what the fuck's gonna happen.
Just send it, yeah. Put the guy on and let's see what happens.
Like we talk about Cheeto being like the devil or like devil boy, but like it's really like more like Barrow because like bro, like he'll attack his team. You know what I mean? Like he'll straight up attack his teammates. Like bro's kind of rabid, so it's I'm gonna see like it's gonna be interesting to see like how this goes. But listen, I hope it just sparks a fire. I hope everyone just kind of gets going and we see some absolutely insane goals and just a lot more. Because I want to see Isagi score multiple, not just the final one. But I'm so excited. We got one episode left. Are we really about to be at our last episode?
I don't know for Blue Lock. I hope not, because this episode was like the height of the season for me. So like hopefully they don't leave us on like a huge cliffhanger. But I'm not sure if it's got like extra episodes or not.
Is it season 2 right now? Right. 14 episodes. Season 2 has 14 episodes.
All right.
So yeah, we're gonna have a couple. Because I would say like when the game ends, you're gonna have like an episode or two after the game. You know what I mean? To kind of like wrap things up. So like
like the aftermath of everything, because they wouldn't just end it on like a huge goal or whatever. You know what I mean? I feel like there's got to be at least one episode after.
We're like at the end here, so I feel like the game's gonna like end next episode. Except it's gonna have that one kick that like, is it gonna be a goal? Is it not gonna be cool? Stay tuned for next week. You know what I mean? But it's like, all right, fuck you guys. You know what I mean? Like I feel like we're gonna have a cliffhanger that's gonna like end the game next week, but it's gonna be like it's gonna end at the beginning, like 2 weeks from now. I feel like this week's is gonna be pretty much the end of the game. So hopefully it pops off. We get some gross goals, but I'm so excited. 14 episodes, I'm all for it. Definitely better than 12. You know what I mean? We'll take it.
Heck yeah, especially with just like where the match is at. I feel like that's the right amount for it.
Yeah,
would feel like a little too rushed if there was just one more.
Yeah, I agree. Should we go over to DanDaDan or Blue Lock though?
Let's do DanDaDan. Definitely very interesting episode. Very on brand though.
Bro, I was like seriously like bro, like I saw him in the opening, I'm like, dude, Jiji looks like a fucking weirdo. But then last episode or 2 episodes ago, I'm like, oh, like saw him at the end, like, dude, he seems normal. Like he's just like kind of walks up to the door, says hey, he's kind of just chilling, talking to her, looks over, sees Ken, he's like, all right, cool, like she's got people over, like awesome. He's like, oh, he just seems like a real normal and chill dude. Then this episode it shows that point, and then it shows the half a second after that last week ended, and he's just like, hey guys, like oh god, fucking okay, this is the character, awesome. Can we like send him back? Like
so cringy sometimes.
Oh
but,
my
like,
god, it's painful, bro.
Like the fact that he is like super with it the whole bit. He's just like super cringe, but then he'll be like totally normal and cool for a second, and then go back to being like a nut.
And they all love him. Like all the girls love him. They're like, hey, it's like fucking weird. And he's like, and he like farts with her, and she's like, oh, really? It's like,
He's great.
yo,
Yeah.
yo, like chill out, like, bro, like he pulls, I guess, but he like it just works. It's like his quirk, but like I don't know, he's like
Yeah.
such a weird character, man.
I feel like it really fits the dynamic of the group too, because like Momo tries to be normal, you know what I
Mm,
mean, in a sense, and like even Ken is like relatively emotionally normal,
yeah.
you know what I mean, and then like you get Ira and Gigi who are just like absolute nuts. Like even Ira talking about how like she's building up for the final war and like all this weird shit
Bro,
that
she's
like
so
is
fucking.
completely baseless. You're just like, all right, you have two nuts and two like sort of regular people who've been thrusted into strange situations.
Well, I think the good thing about Gigi, like you said, is it good for the group, but like let's think about like what Gigi is. He's the catalyst to get Ken to fucking confess his shit. You know what I mean? Like, because
Yeah, it's
like
very true.
that's what we're really kind of seeing is that like they're definitely going a romance, angle with Momo and Ken, like 100%. That's something that we were talking about in the beginning of the season. We're like, oh, like it seems like they might just be like cool friends, and that's awesome. Like that's nice. You know what I mean? Because like Ken doesn't really have any friends. Finally gets one, so like seeing that dynamic would be really nice. But it seems like they're really starting to push the romance side of it. And with Ira, obviously she's like, I actually shouldn't say obviously she's not a threat. Like she is. She tackled him and tried to kiss him. Like she's definitely a threat. But like she's gotten Momo to kind of realize feelings for Ken, and like because she remember she was the one that really kind of started it because she was a bitch to Ken, saying, "Oh my god, he's disgusting. I bet he's like so happy that he talked to a pretty girl like me," and that pissed her off. Like, how dare you say that? Oh no, so she like defended Ken. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like
yeah,
like
yeah.
like Momo defended Ken and was kind of like, hey yo, like don't that's my buddy. Like don't you talk about him like that. And when Ira developed feelings for Ken, that's what kind of pushed Momo to be like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this. I don't like this. So the cool thing about Gigi being so like weird is he's really just outgoing, and Ken is the complete opposite. He's like too introverted and too awkward to like realize it. So that's why I feel like Gigi's gonna be a great addition and kind of like force more of that out of Ken.
And plus they're like childhood friends. Like I feel like most
Mm-hmm.
anime tropes and like not to like put a stereotype or like something simple on it because DanDaDan's been absolutely unpredictable.
Anything
But
but
like the whole
simple.
like I would love to know the amount of animes where like the childhood friend characters end up dating or like there's a significant romance between them because it almost never happens. So like
Mm-hmm.
Ken, if you watched a little more anime, I think you might feel better. But I definitely, I definitely am with you. I think Gigi will kind of force Ken to confront his feelings, and even it did take me quite literally all season. But when they cut back to like episode 1 or 2 in this episode, like Ken has a straight up bowl cut. Like his hair's longer. Like he's got like a better haircut now. Like he's
He's working
constantly working
out.
out.
Yeah.
So like, and I think it was 2 weeks ago maybe he was like, I'm still a man. Like I want you to think I'm cool or something along those lines. So like you can kind of start to see him blossom and like take these chances and like kind of get with it. Where you're right, you need this stuff to happen and these characters to come in to like push that organically. And I think they've done a really good job of it. Even if GG is like, I think he's funny, but it's like, damn, bro, no social awareness. When he walks in and like introduces himself super flamboyantly, all the girls are like, oh, he's hot, he's funny, he's cute. And all the guys are sitting there like, ah, fuck this guy. Just right away.
Except for Momo's friends, you're like, oh, like what's up with this guy? And then he first them like, oh my god, Momo, like where'd you find this guy? Like,
Yeah. And then he's like, yep, we're living together.
she's like,
So awkward.
she's like, knock it off. And that's the thing, like they said that was Momo's first crush, but doesn't mean he still is. Like I feel like Momo doesn't really care, and like she does care about Ken. Like that was actually like so fucking wholesome and adorable in the beginning of the episode where Ira storms off to go amass her army against
Yeah.
against Momo. And Ken's like, yeah, I'm gonna leave too. And he's just he wears completely wears his emotions, bro.
Brutal watch.
Just like head down. It's like, okay, I'm gonna leave. And it's like, all right, Ken, are you happy? You seem happy. Like, all right, bud.
Yeah.
Like this is we saw we can tell that you're upset or anything. And she's like sitting there watching him, and she's like, hey, like it's your turn to say see ya. Like how she noticed that they were like taking turns, like that's important. And it's like, dude, like that's actually like so wholesome, you know what I mean? That like they have these
I want to say
interactions.
she did in episode 2, right? Because it's like ever since they beat that
Mm-hmm.
sumo ghost, that was kind of like the way they were operating.
Yeah,
So it's definitely like Ken was being awkward, but it's a fair situation. But it's Ken.
yeah,
But yeah, that was definitely wholesome to see her be like, make the effort a couple times, and like Ken's kind of over like reading into the situation, I think, but
Well, like Ken's starting to get it because she goes out of her way to find him to have lunch with him, right? And that's when the other dude
yeah,
kind of comes and he's kind of like walking away and he's kind of like, I think he's like having like an internal monologue with himself where he's talking about like he doesn't want to run, he wants to fight. You know what I mean? Because when we kind of realize that like when push comes to shove, like he will fight for her because like at the classroom incident where the dude like said those awful things about her and he grabbed the guy and he's like, what the fuck do you say? Like she's not that kind of girl, dude.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So like I feel like we're gonna get to that point where like he keeps kind of inserting himself like Gigi does and kind of like using those like I guess like inside jokes or like inside knowledge of like, hey, we used to be like really close, and that's gonna kind of get to him, and eventually he's just gonna kind of like step out a little bit and like be a bit more sort of like, hey, like we're friends, you know what I mean, and like use that to his advantage and like not be so nervous to like talk to her anymore or like interact. You know what I mean? I feel like it's gonna get him to be a bit more assertive. It's just because like he has that side of him that's like cool, like with his powers, like just like such like a chill badass dude. You know what I mean? So like I don't
yeah.
know, like I feel like he's got it. It's just I feel like Gigi's gonna push him a little bit. Give him a
I feel like
little help.
definitely, and like their dynamic is like, like they Ira and Momo argue and stuff, but like
Hmm.
at the end of the day, I feel like they'll all get together and like get along really well. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I feel like they'll be a solid group. So once they get through that awkward first stage, I'm sure Gigi and Ken will get along well.
I'm also interested to see like how long does Gigi stay around? Because it seems like he's just kind of there for like a little part time project. What happens when that's
He,
over? Does he stay around in the story?
yeah, I want to say like whatever he was talking about with that ghost, I guess he said he sees ghosts and like he can't stop thinking about it. I'm
Hmm.
sure that will lead to like our next arc or conflict or something. So who knows? He could end up like Ira and be like, kind of get thrust into this whole situation and dynamic, or yeah, I don't know. They'll go out and solve it and kind of fix whatever is ailing his parents, which is obviously in relation to this ghost thing. So I'm sure he'll be here for a bit, but I'm not sure kind of the resolution of whatever this haunting situation he's dealing with.
So, because like I think he's definitely like creating the next arc, right? Because like her grandma even said like, hey, like I can't leave the area or I can't use powers, so like it's on you guys to kind of go to the house and solve the problem. But that's what I mean. Like that's obviously the next arc, the next move. But like after that, is he just gonna chill back at his house? You know what I mean? Because he's not from there. You know what I mean? Like the difference between Ira is that Ira goes to school with them. She's around them. So now that she can see ghosts, she's like, oh, like I'm just gonna hang out with you guys. You know what I mean? Because like
Yeah.
it's like people that relate. You know what I mean and understand. And also she gets kind of thrown in with them a lot. Like she got thrown in with them when they got with the aliens came. And stuff like that. So she kind of like is like involved, but like he isn't. Like after they do all that, and he stays at his home with his parents. You know what I mean? Would he just stay there, or will he just be like, "Oh, I'm gonna move in with you guys because this seems fun"? So I'm trying to like look, and I'm like, does Gigi end up staying? And I typed in, does Gigi stay around in DanDaDan? And I don't know. I don't know. I'm not getting like a definitive answer. This is chapter 41 spoiler. Do we send it?
I feel like if his parents were to die, you know what I mean? He'd probably play a role or he'd at least be around, but yeah, like it's kind of hard to say. I'm not sure.
I'm gonna stop reading. I'm gonna stop reading.
Wise.
No, like, okay, should we talk about it? Because like this could be cool, and this is from 3 years ago. So, and what I read was hypothetical. So
Oh, I see.
it's not it's
Okay.
not,
I'm
it's
like,
not an actual spoiler. It's not a hypo. It was on Reddit, so it's like it's a hypothetical, and it was like from 3 years ago when the manga was like first coming out. So like,
head canon for sure.
should we talk about this like idea?
Yeah, I mean,
Apparently, Gigi could be strong because we're kind of seeing acrobatic Silky's powers, in Ira, and she has his powers. She's a beast. She's pretty damn strong. But this demon, this yokai they're dealing with now, is pretty fucking strong. And Gigi kind of has some of their powers. So someone said hypothetically, they're like, hey, do you guys think? Because they have the same question from 3 years ago. They're like, hey, is Gigi going to stick around? I'm like, you know what? I have this theory where they're not going to. Because it seems like Gigi might be too strong of an ally, and the anime doesn't have a main antagonist yet. So this person's thinking that Gigi could end up being the main villain. And like, that would be fucking sick.
That would be wild, especially because it'd be close to like Momo's
Yeah,
family and like her childhood and stuff. That would be wild,
dude, that would be
especially
fucking
given his
awesome.
personality.
Yeah, like can you imagine him kind of turning evil? So like that could actually be kind of sick. But again, this is all complete speculation. Apparently, he just like has some power, which we already know about. Kind of can seem strong, and they're kind of wondering the same thing I am, where it's like, hey, are they gonna like actually hang around? Because who knows. So Gigi potentially being a villain could be really fucking awesome. So I'm excited. Because what chapter are we in now? Because that was at chapter 40 something. I forget. Uh, does DanDaDan anime cover? It actually might cover this already. So the arcs will DanDaDan anime cover the first 4 arcs in the manga. Each episode in the chapters. Um,
It's usually like 30 to 40, I want to say,
okay,
like
so
12
that
episode season.
they made that speculation, that idea off of chapter like 40, right? Episode 12 would leave off at chapter 31. So it's right where we're going to be ending anyways, that they're having this kind of like, hey, is Gigi going to be sticking around? So, yeah, not really a spoiler, but like a hypothetical of like what could be coming in season 2 type of thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Or
and like it's still unpredictable. You know what I mean? It's hard to speculate, and I feel like the more you think about it, the less you feel like confident. But
mhm,
I think he'll stick around in some regard. He might not be like maybe a main, his parents get well and like they return to their normal home life. Like I think he'll still play a role, but I don't know if he'll be around like you were saying, kind of like Iris and will he still go to the same school? I'm not sure what that situation will be.
because from what I can tell, if that was like chapter like 41, we're going to end off at chapter 31. It seems like this whole idea with what's going on in his house is going to end by the end of the season. And then season 2, when we get that in July, that's going to kind of pick
Yeah.
up with of like, okay, what are we going to get into now? So I feel like that's going to be really interesting. Gigi, I guess, will be around in season 2, but it's like, yeah, what's the future of this guy? Yo, him possibly being a villain's going to be lit.
Yeah, that'll
That
be
would be
super
so
interesting.
cool. And I could see them doing it because like they're like very like all over the place. But like, the
Yeah.
one thing I will disagree with them is that they said that the anime lacks a main antagonist, and I don't agree with that because the aliens are definitely the main antagonist. They're definitely the bad guys. Like,
I think if you look at like the way it's written, which you might not, that's not true. If you look at the way it's written, it kind of gives you that angle that like there's different factions. There's no one true villain or one like antagonist like,
yeah,
whatever, Madara in Naruto, where like everybody's fighting this one guy or this one idea. Like all the villains have backstories and like are relatable in their action to some extent or why the
hmm,
ghosts are haunting people. I would say, yeah, the aliens probably have the worst intentions, but like a lot of the people we meet, like you kind of do see their like I don't know what you want to call it, like emotional trauma that stems to whatever situation we're dealing with.
hmm,
So there's like a lot of empathy with the villain. So like I wouldn't say there's a lack of an antagonist. It's just different. You're meeting different people, but they still give them depth rather
yeah.
than just like somebody like fucking Kaido in One Piece, just big bad strong. You know what I mean? With less like depth, which I do really appreciate.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see, and like we've even talked about that over the last couple episodes of like how we have like these different phases of like problems, not even like bad guys, but just situations that need to be handled, and then how some of the bad guys will then have the good backstory. So it'll be cool if something happens with Gigi, even if he doesn't become like this main villain. But like maybe who knows? Because like we do know this now. He is like possessed kind of by a spirit. You know what I mean? We even saw like the creepiness of like the veins kind of going with his in his eyes and shit. You know what I mean? Like covering him as the spirit was watching him. So like definitely has somewhat of a hold on him. And what if even coming up when they try to go and fight it, it turns Gigi into like its soldier. You know what I mean? Because from what I kind of saw, like when he's in that hallway, it might have control of Gigi. You know what I mean? So maybe at the end of this, Gigi will get its powers. But if that's the case, it's going to be kind of like with everyone else, where they're possessed first. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a lot of different angles with Gigi that can be taken and be very, very cool. Whether he's going to be there forever and he's just going to be an ally and it's going to be great, if he's going to be an in and out character, or if he's going to end up, being on both sides where like sometimes he's good, sometimes he's bad.
Yeah, it's tough to say. Like, we really haven't gotten much with him, but I think once we get a little more into like this situation with what's making his parents sick in this like ghost, I guess that's haunting his house, I think we'll have a better idea. But yeah, he could end up just like Ira, where he's like, possessed and then becomes like a main part of our cast. I think that's something that could happen. Or yeah, he could just like straight up be a villain, and this next arc could be huge because, like you said, it starts in July, so this could like all build up to a situation like that.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I think it's gonna be absolutely awesome, and DanDaDan just hits. Definitely can't wait to see the way that this season ends, and I think it is gonna end in 12 episodes, and then we're gonna get the rest in July. But hey, I'm all for it. I cannot wait to see where they kind of go with this. Let's get into some Blue Box because that that I'm kind of loving. Hina's getting some love. We were kind of talking about this literally the last episode about how we're gonna have it's summer break. We're gonna have a festival come up. Always gotta get the festival eps, and of course Yard Boy goes to Hina, and of course like Hina kind of drops the ball. She goes and invites him, Taiki. But then he's like, "Oh yeah, like by the way, who else is going?" And she's like, I don't know. I forgot to invite other people." And like, bro, like didn't pick up on it. Like,
Totally fumbled.
he's like, "Oh well, I can ask so and so," and she's like, "All right, yeah." I guess like Taiki, like brother, like this is why like you don't deserve either. like,
I will say, like, even her friend was like, she's so bad at this. Like, she never really
mm,
has been like that with him, or like made it known that she
all
feels a
three
certain
of them
way.
are. All three of them are just
Yeah.
like very, very socially struggling. There we go.
Yeah, and like they're not direct with what they want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like that you get these miscommunications and confusions and stuff. But like you were saying before the pod, man, the absolute MVP, Kyo, Taiki's homie,
Bro,
that was the play of the week.
I love how he instantly like ready. He the second Taiki said it, and he's like, "Oh well, like other people are going," and he's like, "Oh well, he never got to invite people, so like I'm inviting you." And he's just like in his head, he's like, "Taiki, like you dumb fuck, like
She
he
wanted it
just
to just
wanted."
be you too. Like everybody is like, "Oh my god, you can't be serious," and like they're the only ones that don't get it.
Like, oh, dude, this guy's slow. And then, of course, the mysterious him pretending to be sick in bed, and even his siblings are like, "Hey, like, yo, like, get up, like, let's hang out, let's play." And he's like pretending to be sick. He's like, "Ah, yep, Taiki, sorry, like, I'm just sick, brother. Like, I hate the regular." He's like, "Oh, that's unfortunate. I guess I'll still go." It's like, yeah, Taiki, that's the point, dumbass. Like, he,
Literally trying to lay it up for you, bro.
dude, what a guy. I mean, what a guy. Just playing wingman, not just for Taiki, but really for Hina, because like Taiki really kind of like dropped the ball there, so that was nice.
Just like a good friend all around. He's definitely
Yeah,
been like the low key MVP of the show. Big
bro.
fan.
I need Hio to like get some absolute dream girl and like win a tournament. Like bro deserves some like good shit in this anime other than just being like
Yes,
the most savage, amazing wingman you can ask for. Like he needs good shit to happen.
absolutely.
He deserves it. He built up the karma. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're totally right. Love for Kyo, justice for Kyo.
Yo, for real. But what was really cool about this episode, of course, we have the festival, but that was in like the back half. The first half was, all about the Batman. It was so cool that he got advice from Hyodo. Hyodo? Is that how you say his name? Hyodo? I wrote it down, but I still can't pronounce it for shit. But that was so
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
cool when they go to the college and like he gets brought there and he by
Are you?
Haru?
Yeah.
Haru? Yeah, there we go. We're getting names. All right, he's like, yo, you want to go to the college and like, get some practice? He's like, oh my god, like yeah. And that other guy's there, and he's like giving him advice. He's like, oh yeah, like do this, and he's like this, and he's like, yeah. And then he does it. And he's like, oh shit, like that worked. Like that was sick. Like not only is that dude like number one, like really good, but like he's such like a kind guy, and it's so cool that he took like notice of Taiki and he's giving him advice. It's like good advice, and it's like yo, like that was like so cool. I didn't expect that because he kind of has that demeanor where he's like an asshole. You know what I mean? Where like
Yeah.
he's like real tough, but like he's just like a great dude, and it's like that was so sick.
And I think that's the thing that's been missing for like Taiki. Like he is
Mm-hmm.
never getting taught anything. Like he's practicing with Haru, but they're also like singles, like adversaries. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not showing him all the tricks in his book because he still has to win. And in the same breath, like nobody, no teachers or like other students we've seen interact with Taiki are like, hey, try this or try that. So it's cool to see like, yeah, the number one guy kind of like give him some pointers because like Taiki's good. He just needs like a little refinement. I think for
So
badminton.
here's the thing too. I don't think it's like okay, so the guy who's like training Taiki, like I think he's just teaching him the way that he learned. You know what I mean? By like being super athletic, getting in super good shape, where you're able to like move really well, be really quick, have a lot of stamina, and put a lot of power behind your shots. You know what I mean? While like the other guy is number one for a reason. He's better than him for a reason. You know what I mean? He knows tricks that he doesn't. You know what I mean? So I feel like
Yeah.
Taiki is getting like the other side of it, where like the other guy is just also like very technique and very finesse as well as athleticism. You know what I mean? So I feel like you're getting both aspects, which is like really nice and really kind of cool.
And Loki, I think he likes that like he's Haryu's like his junior, you know what I mean? And he's
Yeah,
like never been able to beat Kyoto. So like he sees him hits that smash and he's like, oh yeah, show him a couple things. Like, I don't know, maybe he could set him up for a win against Haryu down the line, which I think would be really sick.
dude, that would be, and it's just gonna be so good. Like I can't wait. I love how that we're still seeing a lot of like good Batman kind of like scenes, which is really nice. Even though that for Taiki it's over at least for this year, but like that's what's kind of cool. Seeing Taiki still put in the work and kind of get out of his slump a little bit. You know what I mean? He's not like hard on himself right now. He's not like really depressed. He's back to moving forward, which is really nice. And then of course afterwards he goes to the festival and has a little date with Hina, which is nice. Like solid up all around.
Really good. Yeah. It was like nice getting that with Hina too, because you're right. Like it's nice to see Hina get a little love and like um kind of like be more aggressive in her situation.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely with you. It's cool that even though it's summer break, we're still getting like sports and badminton because that is like a huge part of the anime and something. Like I know there is a couple badminton animes out there, but it's not like super popular. I think it's cool, so it's like nice to have it as a focal point.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we really haven't got much of Chinatsu, I'm sure we will as we get closer to national. So like I'm sure there'll be plenty of basketball stuff, but it was nice to kind of get away and just focus on like Hina and Taiki, even though Taiki's kind of dense when it comes to that stuff.
Oh my god, yeah, like completely. Again, how do you miss that, man? How do you just? I'm trying to look right here too. By the way, Ranma has been awesome. I want to just double check.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think I did see some like an accidental spoiler for episode 12 because I did see like a clip of some stuff that wasn't like in episode 11. So yeah, I
Did
feel
they
like
give you like a preview episode on Netflix? Because like it'll say like episode 12 coming December
oh,
whatever.
that's just showing that it's like each week.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I never clicked on it just
It's
because I
just a
knew it wasn't released.
placeholder.
But
Yeah, it's just a
okay,
placeholder. Kind of like, oh, next week we're getting one. So like, I feel like yeah. So I feel like we saw some, but yeah, it seems like Chanatsu's about to go into the mix a little bit, especially because she's gonna start seeing him with Hina and start to get jealous, and then all that shit goes out the door. Because she was saying that before too, where she's like, "Oh, I'd give him and Hina space. They seem like they're like meant for each other." And he saw like Hina take his food, and she got jealous. You know what I mean? So we know that she sets up a plan, but it very easily gets thrown out the window the second that Taiki gets some love. So I feel like the more that him and Hina hang out, the closer Chanatsu's gonna be coming back to trying to win Taiki over again.
I hope so because if this anime ended up being like Rent a Girlfriend, where like Shinatsu's the girl like he's chasing, and like she just never or she's always like on the fence. Like that's
That's what
worse
a
than like
memorial is gonna be
picking a
because
side. Like you would kill Taiki's character if you just like drag him chasing this girl. You know what I mean? And like has all this success and stuff. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like he wins he could win nationals, but if he doesn't have Chinatsu, it's like, just not the same. That would like totally ruin his character for me. So hopefully like you were saying, she kind of sees this bond that he's building with Hina and like works towards it. Cause if not, like I would not like that, to be
Dude,
honest.
I don't know. A lot of romances that kind of do that, where it's like they're like annoying, and this one could end up doing that because it already happened. You know what I mean?
She's
She's like,
so
"I'll
much on
give
the
you
line
space."
too.
Then jealousy comes up. Then she's back in. Well, then she's in and kind of close with him. And she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna push you away." And now she gets jealous again and kind of goes back in, and then repeats the process. It's like, dude, this is gonna be so annoying. But hopefully, we're gonna have faith because they've done nothing but win so far. So I can't wait to see like what they end up doing. But yeah, hopefully, it's not gonna be super annoying and it's gonna be solid. But I mean, we'll have to wait and see, but we won't have to wait for long because it is having the double season. So let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, at least we'll get to find out because I feel like
yeah.
That's always a tough part with like romance animes too, or like even rom-coms where you get like you start making some progress and then it's like, oh, season's over. We'll see you in a year or whatever. So I'm hyped for that, and I'm definitely hyped to see kind of like where this stuff plays out over the next few weeks.
I'm actually gonna look up real quick how many seasons it will have. The number of seasons for the anime is unknown. It's still expected to have multiple seasons. Future season. If the show's renewed for second season, it's possible that there will be seasons in the future. Is the manga ongoing?
Pretty sure it is. It's always in Shonen Jump every week.
Oh, is it? Yes, the Blue Box manga is ongoing as of today. Okay, so yeah, we're definitely going to be getting multiple. So I was about to say, like, it would Blue Box end after like 2 seasons? You know what I mean? Because like it could progress pretty fast. Because what's going to happen to Chinatsu after the second year? I mean, we're about to be through the first year. You know what I mean? So it's like, how many could it have? But if it's still ongoing, yeah, we're gonna have plenty. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it says it's got 177 chapters, so that's like a really
Oh
good
shit!
bit of source material to pull from. So yeah, we'll definitely get a lot more.
All right.
And I feel like there's slower pace where it's not like, MC's like building up to fight a villain, beats the villain, and then you like build up this arc again. You know what I mean? I think you can like get away with a slow burn like that a little better.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see kind of where it goes. I feel like it's just been killing it right now, so I'm down. I'm loving it. I mean, pair that with Blue Lock and DanDaDan. Pair that with then all the other amazing animes coming out this season, and it's been very nice.
Super good. Absolutely, dude. I'm hyped to see what we get the next couple weeks.
Dude, same. Is there anything you want to add before we are done here?
Kind of sad, you know what I mean? It's a little bittersweet that the season's coming to a close, but I feel like there's so much
sad.
other like really good stuff. There's like always sleeper animes from this season and last season. So it'll be good to catch up, and super hyped for Sakamoto Days, which they're doing the same thing as DanDaDan. They're coming back in July for a second season. So I feel like whatever summer 25 will kind of be popping.
Damn. Yo, that's going to be amazing. Not to mention, okay, never mind. I don't know when it's going to happen. It might be more so February, but like ReZero is supposed to come back. It is on hiatus, so it is supposed to come back. So if that ends up being pushed back until summer, that would be insane as well.
I want to say One Piece and ReZero, yeah, like February, March. They're just taking like a few months off, right?
I think so, yeah. But anyways, it's been absolutely amazing. The depth of the season is insane, so if you haven't been able to watch everything, you might have some time soon. But anyways, guys, that is it. Again, Sleeper Anime video dropping later this week. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys have a great week, and yeah, peace.